G'day guys, and welcome back to Bags of Fish. Welcome to the fish room. This video is a little bit about where I'm up to with the fish room now and the move from the old fish room. I'll get to show you a little bit of both. I'm going to show you what I've done here in the new fish room, and I'll show you the carnage that is left in the old fish room. With mess comes progress. I keep saying it. We've made a lot of mess. Let's be frank. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you're enjoying the fish room build. Struggling with a couple of things which I'll go through in the video, and hopefully you might have some recommendations for them. Let's get right into it, shall we? Hope you like it. Hope you subscribe to it. Let's go.
Okay guys, so we'll do a really quick whip around of the fish room in its current format and a little bit of discussion on where it's at. So as usual, there's still a mess. No progress without mess. Tools are still in the room, and that's because there's a next project to come. All right, aisle 2. Still have the tank that needs to be rebuilt, which is fine. I'll get there. Aisle 2, not much change on what you saw last time. The fish are all still doing really well. Filters are running as they should. I only had one filter mishap, which is this one here. The silicone that was holding the guide for the mesh came off. I obviously didn't do a good enough job there at gluing it on. However, it'll be fixed. Doing really well. Fish are happy. Always hungry. Angel fry, as anyone that's bred them knows, they require a lot of food. Moving forward, the angel fry's parents have been moved into this 4-foot tank, and they're quite happy in there. They need a little bit of something. That's not their permanent home. I've got a permanent home designated for them. It's just not in here yet. The tanks that were resealed, these in my previous video required resealing. I've tested them. A couple of little dubious chips on corners and things, but they are holding water. I don't have any concerns with their longevity now, especially that I've resealed them, and basically just have to run some air and some filters in them and get them bio-loaded and get the fish in there. Holding tank doing well. Everything's really doing well as far as the livestock's concerned. Just using the top shelf here as a bit of storage for some of the old Lowell's fry containers for when I get that set up back in here. Or in here, not back in here. It's never been in here. My wild better tanks still in a holding pattern, waiting for their rack. And that rack, folks, is going to go on that front wall. So my intentions are to have my nano fish, my shrimp, all the smaller size tanks across the front wall so that I can access them easily and keep an eye on them. Yeah, that's what's going to happen there. I haven't designed the rack yet. I haven't even looked at it, but good things come to those who wait, and I don't wait very long. So this is the main attraction for the motivated movements of the last week and a bit. The Petworks 2-foot tanks are now completely removed from the other room and in this room. I've only got from that rack one more. It's a 4x2 tank that will come in and go down here. However, these Petworks tanks and all the livestock have been moved into the new room, and I'm very happy with the transition. It was an arduous task. None of the labels for the fish pretty much now line up with what's in the tank, so I have to go back and relabel everything. But it's as a result of catching fish. I got one new tank set up that was empty, catch the fish from the other one, bucket as much water as I could to transition, cleaned out the Matten filter. These are all running Matten filters at the back, as you can see. Cleaned out the Matten filter, reinstalled it, put the fish into the, water into the tank. Basically, it's like a 60%, maybe 70% water change, and utilising preheated rainwater for most of my stock is the good go-to. But yes, done very well. Everything's happy. This tank that we're looking at's got a few little Boris maculatus in it and some red lizard whiptail catfish, which hopefully, don't know if we can see any. Hopefully I get them to breed in the not too distant future, because there's not so many of those in the country, and I've had a few questions and queries in the past for them. I do intend to give them a good run, folks. Just quickly, and I suppose comment down below if you want to see more of these tanks or anything in particular, but there's spiny eels in that one. There's some pelvochromis, sacramontus, the male's in his cave down in there. Female, she's hiding out. I can see her, but I won't point her out. I don't want to startle them too much. We've got some Nanacara anomala, which is the golden-eye dwarf cichlid. Beautiful fish. Again, I think there's the male. I'm hoping the females found the cave. That tank copped a bit of a beating around. I didn't want to disturb the Ballison area too much, so I tried to move that in situ. Do have to do a bit of a clean-up, as most of them. Some black tiger darios. There's a couple of little fry swimming around. These guys, if you give them enough live food, they will colony spawn and won't eat their fry. I need to get a lot of my fish back on track with their feeding. They've been somewhat neglected, not getting everyday feedings or anything, but is what it is. This is one of the tanks that made it with the right label, Pelvochromis sylvae. They are still in that tank. Don't know how that worked out, but it did. Pea puffers in this one. If anyone in Victoria has got any pea puffers that are about 2 centimetres big and would like to boost my colony, reach out down below, please. I need a few more. I've only got 3. Batis, the blue batis, again, fish that needs a little bit more live feeding and a future breeding project, as are the desert gobies. These funny little fellas command the most attention in the fish room. Anyone that's not a fishy person that comes in to check out this fish room is immediately drawn to these guys and their behaviour. Great little fish. A little bit of salty alkaline water for these guys, but I have to have them. They're such a cool little dude. Some Constantiae, featherfin killies. This tank needs a full redo. They're just in there for the moment. I completely ripped it down. I threw a bit of plant in there just to keep them happy for the moment. The label on here says desert gobies, but it's not. There's actually some neon green striped Corydoris in here. These guys are really reclusive. You can see one just there. They're not a fun fish, as I'd say, like the gold stripe, red stripe, green stripe Cories all seem to be very timid in their behaviour, as opposed to these guys, which is Osteogaster equus, very much in the forefront of the tank. They are always, especially first thing in the morning when the light comes on, very active and flying up and down the tank. Empty tank, empty tank, empty tank, not for long. I've got fish to come into those, and it'll be very, very soon, which will empty other tanks in the old fish room. And last but not least are these 2-foot tanks, Pseudomugil luminatus. Again, I need to get a mop in here, get the feed up to them. Sorry, that's probably not focusing well. Get the feed up and start breeding them and increase the colony. And get more of them out into the hobby here in Australia. They are such a fantastic and beautiful little fish. All right, the 2-foot tanks across the top. Basically, the original Corydoris, none of them apart from the pygmy cories are in situ. So I am about to today go and get myself some lights to make a fixture for across the top. Then I have to readjust the overflow heights because, as you can see, they're all quite low. They're about 1 inch down. and that's as a result of they were on a sump system, so the water used to pump in and overflow through and basically maintain a higher level. Now that it's on a dilution method for my water changes, I'll just have to change that up. So only the pygmies in there. Lighting, bracketry and the things like that will go on hopefully today. Yeah, another job, but very happy. Air's going well. We've got water in place for the water change system, as you can see from the black valves and lines up the top. Airline in. The lighting that will be going on there is just these LED light strips. They're like a shop fitting, and I'll show you the brand. I think it's called LED Vance. These are just a Bunnings brand of LED tube. You can see it here, folks. LED Vance, 6500 Kelvin, which is fine for growing plants, and I've had no problems growing sort of the lower light spectrum plants. They are, where is it? Yeah, 20,000 hour rated for their lifetime. They are linkable, and they are only about 15 watts of power per 4 foot. So 120 centimeters for 15 watts. You can see on this rack I have got, I think it's, what's that, 4, 8, 12, 16 and another one. There's about 17 feet there, guys, of lighting, all for about, oh, you do the math, I can't work it out that quickly, but I can guarantee you the 75 watts that it took to power these Aquarium Eco, and it's not even Aquarium Eco, folks. Have a read of that. Aquarian Eco. They are basically your cheap eBay lights. Do yourselves a favour, guys. Don't fall into that realm. I was trying to do it on the cheap in the old fish room. They are a piece of whack in relation to their longevity. The transformers seem to die on them. Not so much the lighting themselves. The transformers die and don't provide enough power. So if you're willing to upgrade your transformers, that'd be the best way to do it. I will be using the remaining sole survivors of those on some of these 4-foot tanks to enable them, and also when I do the new rack, the timber rack, which I wish to install down this side of the room, I'll use some of those lights. We've got the multiple coloured diodes, so they make things look a little bit nicer. This rack, that's why the tools and everything are still in the room. It's going to be 30 centimetres deep from the drain out and made of timber to facilitate the installation of a number of different size tanks. So I've got 76 centimetre tanks. I've got some 4-foot long but high tanks. There's a plethora of tanks that I have, especially in the other fish room. There's divided tanks, there's you name it, but they're all about 30 centimetres deep. And the intention is to rehome those tanks here and then turn them into more like biotope style tanks for the specific species that I'm going to be putting them. I want to give the betta macrostoma, some really nice scaping, and I hope to show you guys that as the journey progresses. In any case, that's about it for this room. A couple of the problems that I've had have been in the room, specifically more with the construction. So I'm getting condensation dripping from the external roof, which is up in the pitch. The condensation's dripping from the inside of the roof onto the roof of the fish room and then through the lowest points, which happen to be the solar lights. So the solar lights are lower than anything else that I've fitted, and the water is gathering and dripping down and onto the floor. So that might be something I have to visit in the summertime, because it's raining today outside here in wintry Victoria, Australia, and I'm not going to endeavour on thinking to take any roof sheets off to start putting on insulation paper. That's the only method I've heard of repairing this problem that I have. And it's not a small amount, folks. I mean, there's no water on the floor this morning because the temperatures outside are a little bit warmer than they have been in the past, just due to the rain. But on really cold mornings, and just the water that drips through, it's crazy. So I do have concerns with the rock wool and I like that's up on the roof getting saturated. Everything will dry out this summer. I'm not concerned about rusting or anything like that. It's literally for a short period of time. I'll get it all dried out. And if you think of anything, if you've had this problem yourself in your own fish room, please reach out and let me know what your problem-solving technique was. I do have a whirly bird on the roof, which is one of those spinning, wind-driven air exchange systems. Just not helping. Just not helping. So I need to put some sheeting up, which will redivert the dripping water down and into the gutter from the inside. Strange. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the chaos and mayhem that's occurring in Fish Room 1.0.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Okay, so as you can see outside, a lot of plumbing. Here's 2 broken tanks. Unfortunately, casualties of the war that is the fish room move. Both of them I broke exactly the same way. I actually lent my knee. They were right down on the bottom level, and I lent my knee accidentally on the front pane and split them and caused water to go all over the floor. There's tanks and mess absolutely everywhere, folks, and once you see what's going on in here, you'll understand why. All right, let's turn on some light and highlight the chaos. All right, as I say, no progress without mess. I apologize if the air pump that's running these tanks over here is very loud. It fell from its position the other day when I was moving more tanks. I'm not going to dwell on the location in here. Most of this will be dismantled and the only things will be reused are the tanks. I'm not going to be using this fry system for the moment until I redevelop something a little bit better. The rack ahead will go into the new room. It's what was supposed to be a fry grow up system. It's sump driven. It's got the 2 tanks that are divided in 4s, and I'm going to have another row on the top of 4 tanks. It has got to be cleared out of all the species of fish and everything to be moved. So there's a lot to do there, but that's going to go with a repaint and a rejig, some new plumbing, and revitalised. It's going into the new room. This, as I spin around, is where all of those Petworks tanks came from that I moved in the last week. And it, being the stand, is going to be recycled and reused to create that wooden stand that I was talking about for the new room. So this will have the 30 centimetre, it'll be turned from a 60 centimetre deep rack into a 30 centimetre deep rack and reused like that. These are the last 2 tanks of fish that I need to get out, which hopefully will be today, and that will clear a 4x2 tank, which will go into the new room pretty much straight away and give me an opportunity to get this rack out of here. Pothos for miles, folks. I have pulled out so much pothos out of this room. Unfortunately, it's just hitting the compost because if you've got it in your fish room, be mindful it clings to everything. It'll get its roots down into your tanks, get into your sponge filters, and do all sorts of mayhem. You can see here there's a power board there at the back. There's very few things I would consider mega safe in this room. If a tank had a leak, I've negated that in the new room, put a lot more safety measures in place. This room was just made to be what it was. All right, as we walk past the old predator smiling at us on the wall, these 3 90 centimetre tanks, which are looking dilapidated and a bit atrocious at the moment, will get moved to the end of a rack but they will get shut down and the fish will be in storage soon. The cichlid tank will get a different reiteration on the new wooden rack. Sorry guys, I'm squeezing through a hole here, and I apologise for the noise. More mess. That was where some of the better tanks were, if you've seen my fish room tours before. And then this was the 2-foot rack that started it all. When I say that, it was the rack that indicated to me that there was problems at the back and I couldn't work it out. You can see down there exactly what was happening with the timber. The whole wall with the termite damage has dropped a good 1.5 inches. Oh, just chaos. In any case, all I need to do to get this rack decommissioned completely is to get the sump dissected, pull all the materials out of the sump, remove the glass box that is the sump, and then start ripping out the timber. Again, it won't be wasted, it will be used. It's really high quality timber. It was about the only stuff I could get during COVID, but it'll get reused in some new racking, mark my words. And then the last of it. Some fantail goldfish down here making an absolute cloudy mess, chasing each other around in the tank with some comets in there. They'll be rehoused into one of those newly resealed 4-footers in the new room. My fry system, my Dean's style fry system with the Lowell's Fish Lab containers, that will be reinvigorated. The Royal Whips are going to find their new forever home. They won't be in the fry system, and also the amount of little Corydoras and things that escape the boxes during the time will find their forever homes as well. A couple more tanks. These are now empty, just awaiting that new racking system. Divided, I think it's about a 96 centimetre tank. This is another, maybe a 120 centimetre tank. And then there's some L number plecos down in that tank that need to be assessed as well for a new location and home. Look at the mess, guys. Just crazy. But things are happening. I suppose my biggest fear factor is the movement of this tank. And it's not the rainbows, and it's not the sole surviving ram in here, it's this tank. My Hillstream Loach tank, the Sorellias, have been breeding really, really well. And I want to make them a nice new sort of biotope style tank. Not that it isn't as it is, but create more of a flowy tank for them, a larger environment, and hopefully not lose their spark in reproduction, so I can share some around. Anyway, that is pretty much the room as it sits. Let me just spin you around. Okay guys, so there you have it. You've had a quick run around the new fish room 3.0 and seen where I'm up to with that. We've had a look at fish room 1.0 and the deconstructed mayhem that is occurring in here. The mess in between is substantial. It's breaking my heart, but hey, the new fish room is starting to look fantastic and I'm really enjoying where I'm going with it. If you had any, I suppose, requests or would like to know how things have been done in the building of that room or anything that I might be doing upcoming, please reach out down below in the comments. If you've got suggestions on how I can fix that condensation problem, I'd love to hear it. In any case, please comment, like, share, subscribe, notification bell, all that stuff. YouTube tells me I should ask you to do it, so I'm asking. Have a great one, guys. Enjoy your hobby. I'll see you on the next one.